from hello to yes on what you're looking for. I watch people get stuck in Frozen, and that breaks my heart. I was once stuck in Frozen too. Greatest superpower in the world that is attainable for you is the ability to influence people.
Welcome to The Real Raw, a place where we get to see and experience how influence is a superpower. The Real Raw offers us a chance to have a microphone, a stage, form ecosystems, make more money in less time with more magic, and all with the help of Sean Callagy's formula that he's been curating for over 23 years. And who's Sean Callagy? He's the entrepreneur, national speaker, philanthropist, one of America's top trial attorneys, and is the chief visionary officer of UNBLINDED. And though he is blind, he's here to unblind us in integrity through micro distinctions on how we could all go from hello to yes in any role we play in life. And leaders can lead leaders and make the world a more heart-centered and amazing place. I got you, Sean.
Vivian, who is more impressive than you? That is absolutely unbelievable. Let's hear from Vivian, like dropping the mic. And we have some awesome people here today. Let's drop in on Thankful Thursday. And Vivian, I'm going to hit you with a fun fact that's brand new, hot off the presses from this morning. Yes. So who we got?
Oh my God, we got Daniela Dragas. And I love the way she spells her name because it actually is Serbian, but she was born and raised in Oxford. And she put her prestigious University of London degree in economics, international trade, and banking to good use, traveling the globe for 20 years from London, Sao Paulo, Beijing, Los Angeles, and New York as Senior Vice President of Asset Management at Bear Stearns Investment Banking. Today, she is owner, president, and CEO of the Lending Corporation, where she focuses on consultancy in real estate, construction, commercial, sports arena, including the Premier League soccer in the UK. Whoa. She's also a keynote speaker for real estate financial markets and the business side of football and sports, is an ABC7 contributor, and a passionate advocate to find a cure for Parkinson's disease. Plus, she's a board member of Football for Peace and co-owner of Global Football Pro USA UK. So welcome, Daniela Dragas.
Daniela, holy cow. That was Oxford or London School of Economics?
It was actually the London School of Economics, correct? Yes.
Beautiful, beautiful. So I will level one listen, which we and this is I'm never doing, making it about us, but my cousin, Scott Bastak, was also a London School of Economics grad coming from the US. But congratulations on your amazingness in the world.
It's not amazing. You made it sound that way.
Well, come on.
That's you. I didn't do that.
Whoa. See, that's what exactly, Daniel, we're talking about here on The Real Raw. That was like a setup segue into everything that we're doing. You don't think you're amazing?
Humbly so, but thank you.
Yeah, amazing. How about, London School of Economics? That's like where Jack Ryan went, from the Clancy novels. He was a London School of Economics grad coming from Georgetown in the US. And so Daniela, fun fact about you, please.
Love tennis, pretty good at it. Love golf, not good at it.
Okay. We're seeing here Daniela's humble and dry wit. So pleasure to have you here for today. And Vivian, who's Daniela hanging out with?
Oh my goodness. She's going to be hanging out with Allie Covington, AKA Allie B. She's a health fitness expert and mindset coach for over 25 years with a background in sports medicine and sports-specific training. She's trained freshman college students' physical health and mental wellness, and it's this athletic mindset approach that she uses to help moms who feel down and out get strong by helping them decide who they want to be, and she trains them to go for it. She uses an athletic training approach down to how they move, how they eat, and think, for she believes all women have a gold medal life inside of them, and when women look and feel great, they get to live an outrageously joyful life. I agree. And welcome, Allie B.
Allie B, what's happening? How are you?
Oh, I'm great.
Wouldn't you like, Allie, wouldn't you like Vivian to come everywhere you go and introduce you?
Yes, she's amazing. I love the energy.
Yeah. So where does the passion for fitness and health and moms, and what drives that?
So my passion is moms who are not putting their oxygen mask on, actually, because my mom did not put her oxygen mask on. And when I was 3 years old, she had a nervous breakdown from taking care of everybody. I had a developmentally disabled older brother and then 2 teenage cousins who became orphans, and my mom took them in and just didn't put her oxygen mask on, and she got sick, and she was sick for the duration of my life, in and out of hospitals. It's a really long story. I wrote a book about it. And that's why I want to help moms know that it's not selfish to take care of themselves. It is necessary and essential and the most loving thing that they can do for the people in their life.
Oh, that's awesome. And what's the name of your book?
It's called ABCDE is for the Escapegoat. I am the scapegoat, changing the dynamic and the narrative for families and making the world a better place.
That's a beautiful thing. And how about a fun fact?
A fun fact is my name, Allie, is ALY, and it stands for Always Love Yourself. And I'm here to spread that message and make sure that everybody remembers to always love yourself.
Well, your heart and your intentionality in making the world a greater place are present. Thank you for being here today, Allie.
Thank you.
All right. And Vivian, there's some judges hanging out here today.
Did we get a fun fact though from Allie?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I was reading my text. Okay. We have Tina Stanton. Tina worked for 10 years at Finger Lakes Parent Network as a family advocate until 2015. Then she joined the Head Start program as family and parent engagement advocate, where for the last 5 years, she has facilitated parenting with heart parenting classes, which helps guide individuals to unpack emotional baggage so they have a better quality of life. She also served on the board of directors for Families Together, New York State. So welcome, Tina.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you.
And where are you coming from today?
Van Nett, New York. Little town.
New York. Awesome.
Okay.
And how about a fun fact about you?
35 years ago, I traveled with a carnival.
No way. You're a carny? We have Tina, the carny, is in the house. And so, Tina, tell us about your carniness. What did you do for the carnival?
I did cotton candy, candy apples, ran the popcorn stand. So I did that for 2 years, and I'm still friends with a lot of the people that I traveled with. So
Amazing.
it's 35 years later.
Tina, a woman after my own heart you are. Vivian, were we enjoying some... Vivian, can you share what we were eating on Sunday night with all the amazing people in our Unblinded Elite training last weekend, please? I think Tina in particular would appreciate this, and perhaps everybody would.
Well, I know I had ice cream, and I had the biggest ice cream on the planet. It was a soft serve with sprinkles galore. I had chocolate and white swirls, and I had the biggest cone on the planet. I ate it all, Sean.
Yeah. Well, in fact, what we all shared was something called, Daniela, I don't know if they had this in the UK. I'm not sure if you had this at the London School of Economics, like lunch hour, but we had something called a bloatation. And a bloatation is 32 scoops of ice cream,
Oh, that.
4 Pop-Tarts, 2 brownies, sprinkles, hot fudge, gummy bears, Kit Kats, I think Snickers, and we had 4 of them in ice cream bucket, in pails, like sand pails with shovels. So we had 128 scoops of ice cream, 16 Pop-Tarts, 8 brownies, and all kinds of other things. And on the side, just in case you want a little bit more whipped cream, instead of giving you like just the whipped cream on it, they give you actual large bottles of like whipped cream that come in a bag.
Wow.
A sugar rush.
All of them. Everybody ate all of them. So yes, that's what happened. Yes.
I don't know how I lost a pound, Sean. I really don't.
Well, that I can't imagine. But Tina, yes, I honor your cotton candy, apple, and popcorn nest from your past and all that you're up to in the world today. Welcome.
Thank you.
And Sean, it's Adam, the challenge of going in the ocean after Jaws music at night during a hurricane was about equal to me having a scoop of ice cream in my mouth, which I'm probably the only person that did not have one bite of a mutation. So
Well, this is my co-founder and friend, Adam Gugino, who managed between 50 million and 100 million phone calls per year as he took a team from 0 to 500 people and from $3.5 million to $750 million, taking his company in Inc. 500 magazine 3 consecutive years as the fastest privately held company growing in America. And he walked away from those millions of dollars to help impact the world in supporting us at Unblinded and helping people accelerate their money, time, and magic. Adam, love you, brother. And he's in a 75-day challenge. And this lunatic straight up, after all this ice cream party, whatever that he didn't have, because he is committed to a 75-day challenge, was working out at 4 o'clock in the morning after our 18-hour day of content and fun and magic, making sure he got it in at 4 a.m. Awesome job, brother.
thank you. And
Did you ever get the reading in? You also said you were going to read something.
yeah, no, I got to 10 pages of reading in. Not that I needed it with all the unbelievable content. Like I said, I don't remember much of what I read.
He didn't even rationalize that, Vivian, and he wouldn't even allow all those hours of content to count. He had to read the 10 pages as he's committed to. I mean,
Yes, thank you.
And by the way, that was after we came off a pirate ship. Story for a different day. So yes, we have Tina, welcome, and Vivian, who's next?
We have Sarah Lee, not to be confused with Andrew Cuomo's ex-wife. But our Sarah Lee here.
I would convince it with the pound cake. Sarah Lee pound cake, the best pound cake.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Although she's got a cake branding also called Financial Cake. But we'll get to that. She's a successful 6-figure plus entrepreneur, international global best-selling author of ABC of Success and My Success Formula, and the host of many shows on ABC, NBC, KOFY in San Francisco for over 20 years. Sarah Lee is a UCLA graduate with a master's degree in business and psychology. She is the owner of the brand Financial Cake, a brand that is all about offering up recipes for success to help individuals find clarity of vision and execution. She's also the founder of Coach Me Academy, a school that teaches basic business and professional communication and presentation skills. Plus, she teaches at the New York Film Academy. Welcome, Sarah Lee.
Do you ever sleep, Sarah Lee? And welcome back, by the way. How are you?
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. And no, I do not sleep. I'm like a bat. I sleep upside down with my eyes open.
That is a beautiful thing, Sarah Lee. So you should have been joining us in the ocean this past weekend. Let me ask you a question, Sarah Lee. Would you have gone in, not knowing, listening to Jaws music in pre-hurricane conditions with 20-mile-an-hour winds, 5-6 foot waves, not being able to see anything, crashing with riptides all over the place? Would you have gone in with us on Sunday night? That is your question.
We're waiting.
Honestly, maybe.
Okay. Well,
I'm kind of an up for every. Oops. Can you hear me?
Yes, we have you. Go ahead. Yeah.
I'm an up for everything kind of gal, but
I think Sarah Lee's
She froze.
in and
She's
out
frozen.
a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So Sarah Lee, just real quick, when you do bounce back, how about a fun fact?
She is still frozen.
All right, we'll come back to Sarah Lee. Vivian, last and certainly not least for our judges we have.
Well, we're gonna go to our role player because I think we're still.
I'm here.
Oh, Mo?
I'm here. So internet's
there you
better in the
go.
car, so there I am. I'm still
Really?
moving around from location to location.
Okay,
so.
good. Okay, Mo, baby, welcome back.
Thank you.
Mo is founder, president, and master trainer at Into Power, a management consulting and training firm. Award-winning author of The Truth About SharePoint, Essentials for Executives and Managers. He published 3 books with over 10,000 sales in a single transaction. And he's a Microsoft certified trainer, trained over 20,000 executives and managers around the world. Get this, he even trained Supreme Court Chief Justice John Roberts and the late Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg in workflow automation technologies. Plus, he gave 2 TEDx talks, one of them on hidden secrets about money. So welcome, Mo.
Thank you. Thanks. It's so great to be here with you guys.
Super impressive, Mo. Welcome back as well.
Thank you.
How about a fun fact, as if that is all not fun enough? Right?
All right. So a fun fact that many people do not know about me is I've been working on an artificial intelligence project for a number of years to change the way we all live, play, eat, work, and create together. We're going to use AI to power life itself, to handle things like laundry, food. All of it is getting automated.
Mo, you got to up level
Hey,
your vision and aspirational and energy, brother. Like seriously, like wake up and get something going.
I want to know how that AI is going to help me with my laundry. That's my least favorite chore. So
Imagine never having to do laundry again.
yes,
Ever.
Look at Mo. Mo's throwing it down, Vivian. Like changing the world. That's what happens on the Real Raw on a daily basis, no less. So welcome, Mo. Love you guys and these amazing judges, Tina, Sarah Lee, and Mo. We have, oh my God, what a day. We have Daniela and Allie. But wait, we have a role player.
you do. Yep. Look everywhere you want, Mr. Weitengruber, but I will find you. For over 10 years, alongside his team of 8, George is the attorney at his own law firm, Weitengruber Law, located in Wall, Metuchen, and Bordentown. He focuses in the areas of bankruptcy, real estate, and foreclosure defense, but George loves the challenge of solving complicated puzzles to get his clients their desired outcome, including adoption. A puzzle he solved for himself and is passionate to champion adoption law for others, including the LGBTQ community. So welcome, George.
George, welcome.
What's going on, Sean? How are we doing today?
Hey, we're doing great. And by the way, everybody, George is going to give his fun fact. However, I'm going to have a public service announcement and say that on the Real Road on occasion, we have some adult content, even if we're talking about baby books. What? George, what's your fun fact, sir?
I was going to shake it up today, but if you want me to fucking talk about my baby book, I will.
So, yeah, you could give me your second fun fact, but that.
Okay, wait. So on. Remember, when you come on this show, you don't recycle your fun fact, because my fun fact for the first 2 appearances was the first word written in my baby book. My first word ever on this planet was, in fact, fuck. It makes them laugh every fucking time. So if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's known as Cursing Attorney. I don't know why, but you'll fucking figure it out soon enough.
Amazing, George. And what is your other fun fact?
I starred in plays as both the Cowardly Lion and Winnie the Pooh.
I love you, George.
Oh, I love you too, man.
Man, seriously, courage. It's in there. Don't ever forget. You have the courage.
Put him up.
And oh my God.
I'll fight you with one paw tied behind my back.
I love this, man. George, it is a pleasure and welcome, sir.
Thanks, man. Pleasure.
Awesome. Okay, so Vivian, how about a fun fact from you, please, before we.
I am flummoxed.
You're flummoxed. Think of this weekend.
Oh my goodness.
10 fun facts about you. How about one of the rides you just went on, or that little on the water thing?
On the water thing.
Yes.
I went in bumper cars. I hadn't done that in I don't think my whole life, actually. So I think for the first time I did bumper cars.
This past weekend.
Yes.
At
Fantasy Island.
At Fantasy Island with Mr. Rourke and Tattoo. Now, were you nice in the bumper cars, Vivian? Because I was not in the bumper cars.
I was reaming everyone viciously. And there were at least 10 kids that were under the age of 10. And I was relentlessly banging onto them. And I think they were startled.
Was anybody else from the Unblinded Elite in the bumper car track with you or no?
Yeah, I had David Gonzalez and I had Rosa and his friend Mo that came.
All right. Did you hit David Gonzalez hard?
Huh?
I'm gonna be on his internet marketing party tonight. Did you hit David Gonzalez hard?
Oh my God, as much as I could, head-on collisions.
Thank you. That is excellent, which is illegal in Fantasy Island, but we won't talk about it since I had 5 bonfires in my backyard on the beach, and they were not permitted by Long Beach Island. So that's a whole different story for a different day as well. That's not even my fun fact. So here's my fun fact for today. Vivian was just in the crazy ocean. It settled down this morning. I had the unique privilege and fun to go out surfing. By the way, I'm a blind guy that has recently taught a blind man to surf, in addition to myself. So I'm out surfing this morning, and I feel this presence. And some of you know this, Vivian knows that I was bumped by a shark about 4 weeks ago. So I'm like, oh boy, I hope this is not round 2. So I just felt a presence. I felt some energy. I can't see anything on the screen, but I could see wide peripherally. I'm out about 80 yards on the sandbar, which I'd moved out a little bit with stormy conditions over the weekend. So I'm out there. It's a beautiful, flat day with massive breaking waves, still with these offshore things in Bermuda going on. And I see something out of the corner of my eye. I perceive something, and I'm like, I guess that was a wave, but it didn't feel like there was a wave there. And so about 3 or 4 minutes later, all of a sudden, out of the water comes a dolphin flying straight up about 10 feet from me, which in the split second when it broke the water scared the hell out of me. So I'm out there by myself 80 yards out. I'm like it was just frightening. You don't expect things to explode out of the ocean. But then as it was coming down, right there, it was such an unbelievable moment. And I might have to rate that as top 3 moments I've ever had in the wild with wildlife. Having a dolphin explode out of the ocean alone by yourself. I mean, it was unbelievable. So that's my fun fact for today.
That's amazing.
Let me share. Okay. So that said, Vivian, you make it happen. Everybody wants Vivian traveling everywhere with them. And you're also launching your incredible show, Dishing It, and making beautiful things happen with that. So yes, Vivian is the rock star of all rock stars. Thank you. Couldn't be more grateful for you each and every day.
I'm grateful for you and for all of you. So thank you.
Thanks, Vivian. We'll see you soon. Yeah. So we're going to drop in now with Ali and Daniela. Daniela, I think you are probably from further away. So I'm going to go with either a 1 or a 2 is under this table. So do you think I have a 1 or a 2, Daniela?
2.
It is a 2. So you get to go first or second. It's your choice. Would you like to go first in the first round or second in the first round?
Oh, let's go first.
Oh, Danielle is leaning right in. That is her London School of Economics background calling to her and saying, yes, we are going to make this happen. So you have the choice of making the cursing attorney, George, be anybody that you want him to be. He could be his normal, brilliant, beautiful, wonderful cursing self, or he could be somebody else, whomever you want, that would be a relevant yes, that you'd be seeking in the world. And you'll have 6 minutes, so will Allie, but the conversation is going to get cut in half. So the first 3 minutes are going to be all about you building rapport, creating a relationship, judges, like opening listening of George or whomever George is playing, and putting something at stake. In the second round is where you're moving into getting the yes. So it's a 6-minute meeting. It'll just be cut in half really quickly with George having to take a phone call. Then he will bounce back. You do not have to set up the second phone call. Sound good, Danielle?
It sounds fine by me. I think I like the cursing attorney approach. Let's do that.
All right. So
and the messy hair.
Yes, he's going to be himself. So you have 3 minutes. You'll hear an alarm go off with 1 minute to go, 30 seconds to go, and then done for the pause. Yes. So please, Daniela, the cursing attorney waits.
He does. Okay, George, lovely to meet you.
Hey, Daniela, how are you?
How do you absolutely lovely? I love the sign behind the back of your head.
Thanks. My name is insanely long, and if I put it up long enough, people will figure out how to spell it.
It's great. It's a really good way to market yourself over there. What's going on with the hairstyle this morning?
Well, I don't have time to worry about hairstyles. I've got 4 million clients with their hair on fire. So, who cares about what I look like?
And you're still keeping yours. What kind of law are you practicing? Fascinating.
I've been doing bankruptcy, foreclosure defense, and real estate for the last 11 years.
Okay. You look so young still doing all that.
Flattery will get you everywhere.
You're keeping it all together. What kind of areas of the United States are you doing your law in? Is it California?
Just New Jersey.
Okay. Just New Jersey. How are you liking the politics up there?
Of New Jersey or the country itself? I hear your accent doesn't necessarily align with what's going on in this country.
In New Jersey.
It's complicated. It's really complicated. They tried to keep us safe. They may have locked us down longer than expected, but happily my friends are happy and healthy, so I'll tolerate the inconvenience.
Yeah, and how's business going in that respect? Leading on back to you.
That's a really interesting question, right? Because the world of real estate has never been crazier in New Jersey and the New York metro area. I'm sure you're aware of that because you're up in New York, right?
Well, I'm actually down in Florida, but I'm in that real estate segment. So we have a lot of synergy and things that you're doing. Yeah.
Right. So you know how it's been. Everything's on fire, but everybody wants to close super fast and it's ultra competitive. So real estate's great. Bankruptcy is a mess because the governor has shut down foreclosure and evictions through the end of the year. So those categories aren't going anywhere, but I'm just thankful to be running with real estate as crazy as we can.
Absolutely. You got both sides of the scale. So the pun to speak. Absolutely.
So tell me a little bit about Lending Corp. How can I help you today?
Well, the Lending Corporation, we could definitely work together. If you're on the closing side of the business, I'm on the funding side. So we have a natural fit right there. Absolutely. Yeah, always looking for a good closing attorney. Definitely New Jersey, New York.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
What kind? Commercial? Residential?
So we've been dipping our toe in commercial lately, and we're always looking for those opportunities. We've spent 10 years doing a lot of residential and only a handful of commercial deals. But as you'd imagine, there's a lot of small businesses that are trying to figure their way out of distressed situations now. So I think you're ripe for having opportunities with the right buyers and the right funding behind them. Maybe we can find some synergy with that.
Hey, George,
we already did.
You got to grab a quick call. And Danielle, he'll be back in just a minute.
Okay.
All right. So Danielle, how'd that feel for you?
Very natural. George is easy to talk to. He really isn't a cursing attorney.
Yes, but you have the unfair advantage of that outstanding and amazing. Like, George, isn't that like, wouldn't you like to have that accent? Or maybe we have the accent or not have our accent and speak like Daniela. What do you think?
We all have an accent. It's all fun.
You know, love, I'd love to have an accent like that, and sometimes it'll come out to you. But frankly, I'm going more Scottish right now than anything else. I can't quite.
You sound Irish.
It's
See,
somewhere.
the Irish.
Yes, it's somewhere between like Shrek and like James Bond. It's like
Exactly. Everyone goes James Bond, right? Of course. You sound like a leprechaun.
It is amazing.
Fuck, she called me a leprechaun. It's over. Your
That's
score
it.
just
The
went
gloves are
down.
off.
George, this is amazing. All right, Allie, we're just having too much fun. Who would you like George, the cursing attorney, to be? Himself or somebody else?
I would like George to actually be Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank.
Oh, love it. Allie, 3 minutes
There, that's better.
with Mr. Kevin O'Leary. And he curses too. Take us
I
in.
needed to be bald.
Hello. So I'm so excited to be on this phone call with you, and I'm so, so grateful. I know how busy you are, and I'm so grateful. I'm just wondering, what should I call you, Mr. Wonderful, Kevin, Mr. O'Leary? What do we call you outside of the Shark Tank?
I mean, Mr. Wonderful is always great for the ego, but you could call me Mr. O'Leary. That's fine.
Okay, well, I appreciate that. And I know that you say when you speak to or you bring entrepreneurs into, you know, that you invest in, they become not only investors, but part of your wonderful family. And I appreciate that. And again, appreciate the opportunity to talk to you. I'm sure you don't remember, but I met you. I had the amazing privilege and pleasure to meet you last year at the ASC conference in Chicago, where you were a keynote speaker. And that was just amazing experience. And I got to take my photo with you. I'm sure you don't remember that, but it was a highlight of my life. So thank you again for that.
Well, that's wonderful. That was such a cool conference. I love my Chicago Death Dogs and deep dish pizza.
Yes.
Did you
Me
enjoy
too.
the conference?
I love the conference, and I have to say, as a New Yorker, I live in California now, but New York is home, and so it's like, which pizza is better? Pizza is better. So I agree with you. It's always good to eat the pizza there. But I know you have your prime rib situation now. I see you on QVC all the time with your Stop the Madness with your prime rib. How is that? Is that become like your greatest passion now?
You know, it's so hard to pick a favorite when we're dealing with so many businesses. We love and respect all the members of our family equally, and then, you know, privately someday I'll tell you who my favorite is. Nobody likes to be the parent that reveals that on the first call.
I understand, and it's kind of like, it made me think about, because I teach as well, so I'm a coach, health and fitness expert and coach, and I teach as well. And so you just made me think about, like, students always want to know who your favorite students are. And so I saw recently as well that I remember I was teaching an anatomy and physiology class, and we couldn't get funding for our microscopes. And I saw last week that a woman had reached out to you about school supplies for her students, and you just were like, okay, where do I send the supplies? So that's amazing. That's really amazing to be able to do what you do and help so many people is truly amazing. And I appreciate that as a mom and a teacher. So thank you.
Well, you know, I mean, I got my start with educational software, and I owe so much to that first business that pushed me up there. So giving back to the students when there's a need, especially during now, it's never been more important. So maybe I am Mr. Wonderful.
You are truly Mr. Wonderful.
Hey, Kevin, you have a quick phone call. You can bounce right back to Allie.
Allie, can I get back to you in a sec?
I absolutely, yes.
Mildred?
Thank you.
All right, Allie, awesome job. How'd that feel for you?
It felt great. It felt pretty comfortable. I think I always have like so much in my head. And so I definitely wanted to be prepared, and George was awesome. So I think he did amazing as a role player, which made it so much easier for me. So thank you, George.
Thank you.
And George, thoughts? How did the connection feel with Daniela, Allie from round one?
So I thought the connection was quite genuine with both of them. I think they did a very good job of building the rapport, you know, a nice little boost on about me and a little push on ego and trying to keep me happy and engaged. I didn't get a ton as to where they're going yet, but in round one, that might not be necessary. Building rapport, they both did a very solid job.
Awesome, brother. Excellent. Okay, so let's take it to the judges. Judges, this round we're really scoring again on how the listening was opened, by Daniela and by Allie, and the putting of something at stake. Next round is all about getting to the yes and really explaining who and what they are. So let's start with Tina. What do you have for feedback for Daniela? In about 30 seconds of feedback. At 30 seconds, I'll give you a hey, what's the score, just to keep us moving. So Tina, what do you have for Daniela?
For Daniela, I thought that she was, let's see, I took my notes. She was really good at getting to personally know him, she complimented him. So, and she was getting a feel for what he liked to do. She asked great questions, which engaged him and obtained quite a bit of information. So I felt that she did very well with that.
Awesome. A score on scale 1 to 10.
I would say an 8.
Nice. And how about for Allie?
For Allie, she was very appreciative of his time. She did ask what he preferred to be called, and she mentioned that she had actually met him. So she kind of touched on that personal piece, and she paid attention to detail. So I would say that was probably an 8 as well.
All right. Excellent. Excellent work, Tina. Thank you very much. Sarah Lee, what'd you have for Daniela?
By the way, I'm back, so apologize for the little glitch earlier. By the way, I want to compliment both.
Can we have your fun fact?
Oh, yes, my fun fact. I have a new book out, The Success Formula, or My Success Formula. So I would appreciate anyone who's interested in reading that. But I also did an award show last night on Zoom, which is kind of crazy, which I think is kind of a fun fact.
Where's the award show?
It's for Easy Way Productions. I don't know if you're familiar with someone named Eric Zuley, but it's kind of crazy. We honored the founder of Make-A-Wish, and we had a few kind of Hollywood people part of it, so it's kind of fun. Yeah, but I love serving in that way. I love just adding a little, sparkle or spice. So.
Yeah. Let it fun. Your sparkle is spelled, Sarah Lee. And what do you have for Daniela from round 1? 30 seconds of feedback, please.
I really want to compliment Daniela on her ability to be very present, emotionally, energetically. She was very good at honing in on George immediately, getting him to relax and focus on her without saying anything about herself. It was all about him, but he was completely focused on her. Would you agree, George?
I would agree.
Yes. And so I want to compliment that. So I thought she did an excellent job, and I would give her a 9+.
Boom.
Yeah.
Numbers. And how about for Allie?
Allie, I think she did a great job, but to be honest, she was a little nervous. And can I say you seemed a little unsure of yourself, which impacts the ability to communicate, because I felt like George was listening more to what you said as opposed to talking. And I felt like if I was going to, I'm cutting to the punch here, but I feel like Daniela will have an easier time getting the yes than Allie did. I would give Allie a 7.
All right, nice. We still have round 2 coming up. Thank you so much, Sarah Lee. And Mo, what do you have for 30 seconds?
Oh, right. For Daniela, what I really liked about what she did was she was very comfortable in her own skin. She immediately created a relaxed atmosphere. So I think that it's very easy to move into any conversation from there. And I liked her certainty about herself. I liked the way she carried herself. It was all really great. And so I would give her a solid 9 out of 10. Yep. And then for Allie, she was great in a very different way. She took the approach of, here's someone who's famous. Let me actually put myself in a more position of humility. And I loved how she, showed respect and honor to ask what he preferred to be called. What a great, great, great way to build rapport with someone. And I really like that she mentioned that they had met before and that it was a big deal for her. And that was one of the biggest deals in her life and something that she would remember. Because I think as someone who meets people, I'm sure he appreciates when people appreciate him. If I could just provide one thing for Allie, just one tiny thing you said that I would kind of maybe just delete, was that you said, well, I'm sure you wouldn't remember me. And I would just delete that because I think you are memorable. I think you are interesting. You are awesome. So I would just delete that one thing. And just for that, I'm going to knock you down to an 8.6.
Beautiful feedback from Tina, Sarah Lee, and Mo. Thank you guys for your heart-centeredness and openness. And Danielle and Allie, thank you for your courage and vulnerability and stepping up on the Real Raw. Awesome. So round 2, because you elected to go first, Daniela, you get to choose to go first or second in round 2.
Let me see. Let's go first.
Look at this, stepping right in. Now it's just a continuation, the first conversation. This is a little bit about like who you are and getting to yes. And that's what we're assessing in this round, judges. So yeah, Danielle, you ready? Please take it and go.
So sorry about that, Daniela. Thank you for letting me take that call.
Not a problem. I know how busy you are. So, George, we've got this natural synergy with your real estate and my real estate side and covering New Jersey where my clients are. So, but what I can do is, and I do see massive amounts of potential for both of us. You've got this commercial residential side, and I'm always looking for a good closing attorney. Somebody that has got that ability to connect, and you connect wonderfully with me. So I think we've got that fantastic synergy. I would really propose at this point, I would love you to take on the business of being one of my top closing attorneys over there for my New Jersey clients.
Well, that's really interesting. How much work are you doing in New Jersey right now?
Well, on a monthly basis, I would say we're closing maybe about 6 to 7 deals per month. Not too much. I can step that up for you, but I want to be comfortable if that's something that you would take me on board and allow me to be a provider of my clients to you and vice versa. Very simple, balanced service together.
You know, Daniela, one of my concerns always with this is that I've got a good team in place in my office, and I'm always the face of the company and the face of these deals. When shit goes wrong or something needs to be done, I'm the face. Are you going to be my face when I'm dealing with the company?
Well, we both are faces. I mean, I represent my company just as much as you do, but we both represent each other. It really is a team effort. So the answer to your question is yes, I would be. If yes, you would be on my company too.
Absolutely. I think it's a big sandbox for us to play in, and that credibility between the two of us, it's super important. I respect that things go sideways and strange on deals. As long as we can have an open dialogue, I'm sure we can navigate through any of those obstacles. Does that sound fair?
It does. I'm very much an open book. I'm the first person that calls the client, and obviously all of my vendors, my team players. If there's a problem, I try and head it up. And I've always approached everything as a team spirit. It's going to be ups, it's going to be downs. You're going to love me, you're going to hate me, but the result will be exactly right. And the result will be that we'll get there together. And I just think the energy immediately between us is fantastic, and I really want to explore this with you. So, would you give me a yes to working with me?
Yes, I think we should talk further.
Brilliant. Okay.
Excellent job. Woo! Daniel, how'd that feel for you?
He's lovely.
And so are you. That was a phenomenal job. So good job. Going
Thank you, George.
If you guys could just leave, Danielle and I've got some business to deal with.
We do, exactly. Please go.
I'll talk to you later.
Is this a real raw ecosystem merger? Wow.
Yeah, and this is what it looks like. This is why we're doing this, plus 15 other reasons. So happy. This is awesome. Allie, you ready?
Yes.
Says, yes, Kevin is back. Take us in, please.
Hello, Mr. Wonderful. Thank you for continuing this conversation with me. So I wanted to tell you something that really stood out for me when I saw you as the keynote speaker last year. Is I remember you said that 90% of the returns on your investment are from women-owned businesses. And that was so inspiring and so hopeful for me to hear.
You know, it really is. And I think that you just work harder and fight stronger than most men. We're just a little lazier. And that's okay, because I'm Mr. Wonderful and I'm allowed to say that.
You can say whatever you want, and it's much appreciated and truly inspiring. And so I'm here today because I want you, you've funded and participated and invested in so many amazing products. And I'm wondering, what would it be like if you could invest in a product that is from a woman business owner and something that would impact the world and change the world forever, that long after you're gone, you're still, Mr. Wonderful is talked about forever because of this amazing product that he brought to the world. Imagine that. What would that feel like to you?
We always enjoy our legacy and making sure that we continue on, which is why I give back so much with charity. But, Mr. Wonderful's busy and has a lot going on in his plate. So what's what's the buy-in? What's the vig for my inherent genius?
Okay, so yeah, so not only will you make a ton of money, but I love the way you said Mr. Wonderful is busy, because people were so busy. And as you know, right now with this pandemic, I mean, I'm a single mom with my kids on Zoom. They're not getting, what they need with their activities. And I look and see, like, I know other moms are struggling as well. And so I've created this game. It's called Safudi, which stands for Simple, Fun, and Timeless. So do you remember playing Candyland as a kid and Shoots and Ladders?
Sure, I always cheated to win.
Okay. Are those games still around? Is it still around, Candyland and Shoots and Ladders?
They are. They're made cheaper, but they're around.
But they're still around from the 1930s. Like, this game's before either one of us was born, and it's probably going to outlive us. And so what if you could bring a game to the world that would not only help people's health and fitness and physical activity, and also the mental health and the connection, and what if you could impact and change the world in that way by investing in a game that is simple, fun, and timeless?
Is there room in this game for a character that looks like Mr. Wonderful?
Yes. In fact, I see you playing your guitar for the theme song in our advertising, along with my son, who would love to play the guitar with you.
This sounds very interesting to me.
I see all the families in America. We want to play Safudi, and the mom's telling them, you've got to play the Safudi before you go on your devices.
10
right?
seconds.
And then the moms could be in the kitchen eating your prime rib and drinking your wine.
Last 10
Now,
seconds.
I'm very interested. What more can you tell me?
Well, we could play the game right now if you want.
Oh, I'm totally in it for playing the game right now.
Okay.
Kevin, you have a quick phone call.
Your
my friend.
face was on every one of these cards. Mr. Wonderful's Safudi game changes the world.
Hold on one second. Mildred, talk to me about Tafudi.
You have to have a quick phone call, brother, and you can come on back, Kevin.
Hello? I'll be right back, Allie.
And when you come back, we'll play. We could play it through this. We could play it through Zoom. That's the beautiful thing too. So when you come back, we'll do a practice round.
All right.
Allie, awesome job. Super fun energy. How was that for you?
It was good. It's just, I am nervous for sure. This is such a brand new experience for me, but that's who I am. I'm the person that, what? You want me to do this? I've never done it before. I want to be that role model for people to see, like, that's where the magic happens. It's such a great experience. Just all life is an experiment. The more experiments, the better, right? So.
Amen. Beautiful job. Love what you're doing. I have a couple quick access points and thoughts. But George, how'd you feel about Allie and Daniela in terms of delivering who they are and moving to yes in that round?
So I'll start with Allie because I started with Daniela last time.
Yes.
Allie, I tried to invite you to lock me down for the kill because I saw Sean say 10 seconds. And it was committing to having that game either sat in front of me so we could play more or follow up with my R&D team, something where you made the big ask. You got close in the early part, but then you went into giving me more of the vision of where it was going rather than getting me to commit to the yes. Whereas we switched to Daniela had no problem showing how I could fit in with her team and where they are. And I threw some roadblocks at her about conditions and the expectation of how we would work together. And she was prepared with those answers and showed equal commitment to working together and figuring out how to navigate through that. So her ability to go for the kill, I thought was very, very strong. And we work on it.
Yeah, awesome. We'll give some access to that. Great job, Daniela and Allie. Let's go with Sarah Lee. What did you have for Daniela in that round?
All right, I'm going to start with Daniela. I think this round, they switched a little bit. Daniela did an excellent job, but she was, like George said, defending her position a little more. He put her a little bit on the offense, which is interesting. I didn't expect that. But I think she did an excellent job. I would give her an 8. And Allie, I think you opened up more. You got more passionate. You got more connected to what your purpose was and what you were trying to accomplish. And as you got more connected, it came across as more connected. And I felt like it opened up Kevin more. And that being said, I would also give you an 8. And I agree with what George / Kevin said, is that he tried to give you an opportunity at the end just to get a yes or no. But I just hate to say this, George, I don't agree completely that she didn't go in the right direction, only because I think it was very woman in style, meaning women tend to be a little more relationship oriented, and she went a little more like legacy, which I loved. By the way, the one thing I would say as a compliment, yes, right, which is great. The one thing I would say as a compliment and as a question mark is, you focus so much on the legacy and so much on the big picture, which was great, but you didn't actually say anything about the game, and he could have received the game and hated it because you didn't actually say anything. And I don't know if that was good or bad, meaning I'm just bringing that out as a point that, the game might not match your beautiful, like you had such an epic description. So, but still 8 for both of you. Great job.
Beautiful job. Mo, with 30 seconds you have for Danielle.
All right. So for Danielle, you kind of left it in such a way that someone would have to be a fucking idiot not to say yes. Right, to steal some language here from our role player today. What we have is it's a very, very clean opportunity for someone to work with you. You're already doing transactions. It's a logical alignment for someone who's doing closings to align with you. And I actually really like the way you addressed the answer to the obstacle that was thrown in front of you. That, hey, will you be the face of your company or be the face of the problem? Because I understand how these things work. And I like the way that you pointed out that this is a team effort, and that you always have that attitude of working together. In fact, I'm not even in that particular space, and I'm like, shucks, I want to work with you, right? To see something where we could collaborate. So I really liked what you did there. I think it was excellent and well done on that side.
Excellent. And a score?
And a score, I'd give that a solid 9.5.
Beautiful. And for Allie?
And for Allie, Allie's got, I think, the harder sell here, right? Because she's selling an idea to get something to Mr. Wonderful, and someone who's pitched all the time. So for Allie, I'm going to give your feedback in a slightly different way. So first of all, I want you to know, I think what you're doing is amazing, and I think you're very passionate about it. And this is just a very minor thing, which is that you could have shortened the vision statement and the question down to one quick phrase, and then spend a little bit more time introducing the game. And then you've got plenty of time to close for, hey, let's try this game out. And I love that you knew so much about him in technical details, from what he said in his keynotes to his steak companies and wine and Having all of that laid out, that is an excellent communication strategy, sales strategy, to just really know everything about who you're speaking to. So well done, very, very knowledgeable, and well done. And I'll give that a solid 8.5. Solid 8.5.
Oh, excellent. Tina, what did you have for Danielle?
I had to unmute, sorry. So for Daniela, I would have to say that she was very professional. She kind of got right to the point with that connection of real estate. I'm assuming he's real estate law as well. So tying that in, she simplified it. There was teamwork. You were willing to be accountable when he asked you, the face of the company kind of thing. And that you were willing to work together and take it to the finish. And then you obviously closed with the yes. So I would have to give you a 9.
Beautiful. And for Allie?
Allie, I loved her energy. I think me and you are passionate about a lot of the same things. So I think she was very excited, and you could see that in her presentation. But I really didn't get a feel of I understand the game, and I didn't understand the tie-in between the game and, being physical and people playing it for a long time. I would have liked more information on that. So for that, and because she kind of froze at the end and didn't get that yes, I'd have to give her an 8. So.
All right, excellent. So great job, folks. And to the point with Allie, Allie, you up for your role playing for a second?
Sure.
All right, cool. So I'll be you. And how about you be Kevin O'Leary? Yeah, is that good?
Okay.
All right. So Mr. O'Leary, so thankful that you got 3 minutes here. And I just want to share that everybody says they're a big fan. I'm not a fan, but I incredibly inspired by your brilliance and wisdom of how you created entrepreneurship and your no nonsense style. So I'm ready for no nonsense, and I appreciate your time for this next 2 minutes and 45 seconds. So sound good, Kevin?
Yes, sounds great.
All right, awesome. So what I think I hear from you in the world is that you're always looking for big ideas that also have positive impact. I know your contribution side. And I'm sure everybody pitches you and says that exact same thing. Is that fair?
That is right. Yes.
So what I'd like to present to you today is a concept that I think you'll find potentially compelling. But can I ask you a quick question? First, is when you look for impact, like what impact matters most to you in the world? I know the charities that you're involved in, and they're sort of diverse. What is it when you think about impact that inspires you the most?
Well, of course, I want to make a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I want the products that I invest in that go out into the world to make a difference in people's lives.
Okay, awesome. And how do you feel about the dynamics that exist with the way children spend their time in America today? You're feeling like it's going well, it's not going great. Like, how do you feel about that?
I feel like, and you can Google this, that we are a culture of raising a bunch of wimps. America is raising a bunch of wimps that do not have resilience and coping skills.
Awesome. And is that something that you're interested in having impact about?
Absolutely.
If you can make money.
Absolutely.
All right. So can I share a little bit about my perspective? And I honor that reality. And thank you for answering my question. I know we have a minute and a half to go. So can I share a little bit about who I am and what's happening?
Yes.
Okay. So my name is Allie. I'm a single mom with 2 kids. And I've been obsessed with solving for the problem of women taking care of themselves. And that's a huge part of what I do. But also how they simultaneously take care of their children so they're not raising a bunch of wimps that are not going to be resilient and have an impact in the world. And because I fear for the future of our nation. I think literally we're at one of the most divisive times. I think a lot of that's built upon what you talk about, the softness that we've created for our children. But I think we also don't want to lose the love and caring. So I've created a game. And some games stick, most don't. Things like Candyland, Chutes and Ladders have been around since before you and I were born, and they're going to outlive both of us. So the outcome, the problem I was solving for is how do you create a game that's sticky, makes things happen, that parents love, and isn't like a babysitter for non-resilient wimpy kids, but instead empowers, impacts, and drives people forward. And that's exactly what I've created. And in a nutshell, at the end of playing this game, where the pattern, the habitual pattern this game will create is that parents will say like, hey, before you do your homework, did you play this game? Like that's what I've created. And I'm not even getting into the details of it because I know you're too busy and get presented with things all the time. But is there somebody on your team that I could have 15 minutes, that I earn 15 minutes with somebody on your team, maybe even you, probably not, to demonstrate to them how this works and to see if it can go forward? All right, Allie, how did that feel for you?
Oh my God, that was so amazing to experience. And that's why I'm so grateful to be here, to put myself in this position of not having a clue what I'm doing, because now I learned how to do this. I'm so grateful.
And that's not perfect, and that's me on the fly, right? But so there's a formula. That's what we teach here at Unblinded. That's what I've been living for 23 years. And the formula is the opening of listening, the creating of like scotomas that open listening, so you don't sound like everybody else. Do you agree that I didn't sound like everybody else that would speak to Kevin O'Leary? Is that fair?
Yes, it was brilliant.
And my ask was super tight and specific and respectful. And my time checks were, so I was telling him, I know you don't have time. I know you don't have time. I know everybody you talk to keeps talking and they want to grab you. They want to hold on. They want to take a picture. I'm respecting you, right? I'm going to let you go. Did you feel that energy? Like I'm respecting your time. I'm going to have a small specific ask so I don't sound common and like everybody else. Did you feel that, Allie?
I felt that, and I felt just you were respectful of his time as well as your own, and embracing your own confidence, and that this is important to me and I have something very valuable that to share with the world. And it's almost like you are gifting him with this opportunity, that you're choosing him to invest in it when you can choose someone else. So I liked that you respected him as well as yourself and your confidence in the value of what you were bringing to him.
And like you do, and you teach women because you're awesome, Allie. So Allie, how was your day today on the Real Raw? If somebody's like, should I go on that thing? I'm not even sure what it is. Like, should I go on it? What would you say?
Oh, 100%. That's what I said. Yes, I was nervous. Yes, that's me. To me, it's like that whole thing is like, that's where the magic happens, is when you do the scary things that you have no clue what you're doing. Because I learned so much today. I'm so grateful. And so I would definitely recommend anybody to come on here just to connect with all of you, because we're wired to connect with each other. Everything about it. I loved everything about it. Thank you so much.
Well, Ali, thank you, because this doesn't exist without courageous people like yourself, Daniela, and everybody else here today saying yes. So everything in life starts with a yes. Sometimes we should say no, but not here. So thank you so much. Daniela, how was today for you?
It was lovely. I had no idea what I was coming in for, totally unprepared. I just said, okay, I'm the girl that has no idea, but I'm here. And then I got to meet all of you, and it's lovely. So it was a great experience. I'm not a professional speaker on Zoom and TV, but I got to know all about every one of you here, and I really hope we get to connect. And if anybody wants to join this and do this, big thumbs up. It was fun.
Yes, and we have an entire ecosystem world here, Daniela, and certainly you and George have a lot to talk about. And we have an entire world here at Unblinded, and this is just the beginning, or maybe the end, and we'll talk about that in a second. So, Tina, thank you so much for being here. And again, if people are like, hey, should I judge on the Real Raw? What would you say?
Absolutely, because I was quite a bit intimidated when I agreed to do this. I was like, I think you got the wrong person, but I'm standing in my power. I am absolutely the right person. I learned a lot today, and I'm so glad I followed through on this challenge. So thank you for having me.
Thank you, Tina. And Sarah Lee, how was today for you?
I loved it. And by the way, I was a contestant on this a few weeks ago. And so I've been in your seat, Ali, been in your seat, Daniela. And it's a tricky thing, right? Presenting in 3 minutes and then presenting in 3 minutes. But I love both sides. I love being a contestant. I loved, giving feedback. And by the way, I loved, and I want to say compliment to George and a comment, is how I could see the attorney in you, how you, like I said, pivoted and switched the power dynamic when you were with Daniela, once you knew she wanted to do business and once you knew you wanted to do business, meaning you thought that was very interesting. So there must be the attorney in you, I'm guessing, to keep people.
Must be the superpower that they teach you.
Yes.
Here's the funny part. They totally don't teach that. I think George has learned incredible influencing skill sets. And, beautiful job, sir. And yes, you don't learn that there. I promise. You learn it elsewhere, and you learn it in practice, which is its own. That's why we do this. Because I think a lot of folks that are, beautiful hearts don't learn to do what George did and learn to do what we teach here. So great job for that acknowledgement, Sarah Lee. Tina, great job. And Mo, how was today for you, sir?
This was lots of fun. It was a very different experience. I loved having an opportunity to meet new people. And certainly our two contestants today are from two different universes, right? They're in two completely different lines of business. So it was great and I love that they both chose what they chose in the demo, right? I mean, for Ali to take on, speaking to Kevin, or Mr. O'Leary here, was that's a big thing to take on, right? Especially to do it live on camera in front of a bunch of strangers. And so I applaud both of you for doing that, and you did an awesome job. And I had lots of fun. I enjoyed this. So thanks so much for putting it on.
Awesome. George, thank you. Beautiful job today. Any final words from you, sir?
So guys, just so you know, I was a contestant last week and then yesterday. So I've very, very recently been in your shoes. It was fun playing the part of a role player where Daniela made it easy for me because I got to be me. I'm glad I watched a lot of Shark Tank, so I understand Kevin O'Leary. The trick always becomes when you're jumping into fantasy of somebody that you don't know, it can be tricky. I think you both navigated this very well, and just stick with it. You open up, every time you show up on one of these shows, you open up a different layer.
Awesome. Great job, George. So listen, at Unblinded, we're here to create simple, fun, and magical micro distinctions and frictionlessness that create exponential abundance in your money, time, and magic. And this is the end of the journey. Lock into your heart and soul that influences a superpower. And there's a mechanism of going from hello to yes, the highest level of science. You committing yourself in a heart-centered, integrous way to getting there makes the world a greater place and makes the acceleration happen for you. But hopefully this is just the beginning. Looking forward to joining us on the morning huddles each and every day. And that's the beginning of the beginning. There's loads of stuff here. And we are committed to becoming the greatest personal development platform on the planet and expanding it not through a person, but through a formula and massive amounts of incredible people. Have a beautiful day. And thanks.